The BRSCC BMW Compact Cup is brought to you by Nankang Tyres and Gas Shops.
Race 2 is about to get underway, and obviously Stephen Daly has already been crowned the championship of the 2018 season. But David May is now on pole for the Masters, I believe it is. How are you feeling?
Slightly nervous, to be fair. It's been a hard year. It's all coming together. It's all down to this last race. I've just got to stay on the track, and I think I've got it in the bag.
Were you a little bit hesitant? Obviously, Jameson was in the lead for the Masters before race 1, but he didn't finish race 1, which now by default means you are. But you do have Towers right behind you. I
do. I've Keith Towers and Mark Skeets, and they're formidable. So anything can happen, but as long as I keep it on the black stuff, I should be okay.
Well, we wish you the
fingers crossed. Yes.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with that.
Yes, the Masters battle, another one well and truly to keep an eye on, as well as the fight at the front of the field in this, the final race of the season. Stephen Daly and Ian Jones on row 1, ahead of Ben Huntley and Tom Griffiths, then Matt Parks and David May on the third row. Mark Skeets and Keith Towers, there they are on row 4 with David Sharp and Alan Caulfield, row 5. Oliver Fawler, can he get a top 10 here? He's on row 6 with Ray McDowell. Then it's Matt Flowers and Mike Doble, Tim Scott Andrews and Aaron Morgan, with Jonathan Atkinson and Alessandro Albano next. Simon Welch, Martin Gadsby, Greg Barlow, Jason Bagley, Nick Edmond and Craig Arkell to round out the top dozen rows of the grid. Then it's Adrian Pace, Andrew Woodbine, Rudy McMillan and Jim Barrett, with Phil Sharp at the back. There will be a couple of non-starters, unfortunately, after the issues in the previous race, but we are about ready to go racing for the final time in 2018. Away we go, the lights out and the rush towards Redgate begins. Good start there by Oliver Fawler. Look at that, he's into the top 10 immediately. So the question now, I suppose, becomes how far up the top 10 he can get. That was a great start from the newcomer. Down towards Redgate corner they go. Here's the silver car there, number 18 with the orange wheels. We will keep an eye on that car as the race goes on. Through Redgate corner, Simon Welch there, the white car with the purple wheels. It's always helpful when they put their cars in as colourful a paint scheme as possible. Does make my job a little bit easier, and there are plenty of striking liveries in the Nankang Tyres Compact Cup. Great start there though for Tom Griffiths. Look, he's dropped behind Mark Skeets and David May as they head in towards the Old Hairpin, with Daly leading, Jones in second. May, look, has got into third place, and David May going after the race leaders. Now David has had a couple of podiums, he's had a couple of second place finishes this season, yet to win a race in the championship though. He's going with the leading two. And if the quality and therefore intensity of the racing that we saw in race 1 is replicated in this one, it's likely that any one of the top 5 or 6 drivers could win. Already they're starting to trade places. Look, Ian Jones up the inside of Stephen Daly. That didn't take long. Oh, he gets all out of shape though. That was a brilliant save from Ian Jones. And, well, as a result, he doesn't actually quite complete the manoeuvre, but he's lucky still to be on the racetrack, to be honest. They run wheel to wheel again, down towards the chicane. Ben Huntley somehow came through all of that into third, despite initially I thought it might have actually given David May a shot at the race lead, but he drops down to 4th. Jones goes into the lead of the race. They all stack up on the inside line. Huntley goes through as well. So Daly finds himself down in 3rd position, with David May right on his bootlet now in 4th. On board with Stephen Daly, looking ahead at the cars in front, looking behind at the cars behind. Mark Skeets is in there, Matt Parks as well, and Tom Griffiths, I think that is, going up the inside line. But Ian Jones it is, with the lead of the race, down through Redgate corner. And well, I said 5 or 6, we've got about 7 or 8 cars now contesting the race lead, with Keith Towers, the red and white car, at the tail end of that lead group, going through Redgate corner for the second time. Look at that, what a sight they make. It has been a splendid year of racing in the Nankang Tyres BMW Cup, probably the most entertaining year yet, and they've had some entertaining racing in the past, but 2018 they really have outdone themselves, and we hope that the majority of these drivers will be back in 2019. Oh, that was Aaron Morgan going off in the background, exit stage right. Thankfully the gravel quite dry, so he should be able to just sort of bounce his way through, but that was a a scary moment there for Aaron Morgan, I'm sure. There is Aaron, stuck in the gravel, so actually no, he's not going to be able to rejoin, unfortunately. The plastic markers, which I'm quite surprised lasted one lap up the lanes, they didn't last two, they've all gone now, as drivers start to really attack the corners now, as they start to try and work their way through this immense train of cars. But yeah, the racing this year has been second to none. It's been fantastic, and some of the best racing we've seen anywhere all year has come from the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup, and I'm sure the drivers will want to give the championship for 2018 at least the perfect send-off. Oh, that was close. Tom Griffiths looking to the inside of Mark Skeets, really had to bail out of it though, so that means that Matt Parks gets the run. There was just about a BMW Compact Cup car's width on the right-hand side of the road there, so I think he should go through on the run down towards Redgate Corner. That was Stephen Daly though. As they turn through Redgate, he's in third, Jones leads the way, Huntley second. This is all going on behind, and Matt Parks with Tom Griffiths, excuse me, with Keith Towers up the inside line. It's just fragmented this lead group for the time being. I don't think that will last. David May has dropped down into fourth now, of course. He's out of the podium positions as a result of the little skirmish that happened at the end of the opening lap. Then it's Mark Skeets having one of his better runs of the season. Mark has been there or thereabouts all year, but yet to have a podium. So again, this is possibly a good opportunity for the yellow and black car to make its way into the top three. There goes Tom Griffiths. So you can see the car not looking quite as immaculate as it was at the start of the day. There are a few little witness marks down the side, but with 31 cars entered this weekend, and what did we say, 29 starters for this race, it's always going to get a bit close for comfort in the opening laps. And none of it is malicious contact, it's just wheel to wheel, and when you're so close and so evenly matched and fighting for every inch of tarmac, a little bit of paint being traded, there's nothing wrong with that. So back down the exhibition straight go the leaders, and Jones is trying to make good his escape here, but Stephen Daly will see this and will be ever more eager therefore to get past Ben Huntley for second. Through the right, through the left at the Robert chicane, back onto the main straight, and Huntley seemed to get a good exit there, so keep Stephen Daly at arm's reach for the time being. Back across the line, we're on board with the KC Motorsport car, the team the driver, that look as though they're on their way to their second consecutive championship. Of course, it all hinges on the post-season scrutineering checks and whatnot, but essentially, he is the champion. Ray McDowell's into the pit lane. Unfortunately, his last race of the season not going to end the way he would have hoped. He makes his way down in towards his pit area, and hopefully he'll get the car fixed. It would be good to see Ray out there at the end of the race. Downhill comes the lead battle. Really fight for second, actually, because Jones is just starting to look a little more comfortable at the front. Huntley second, Daly third, David May there in fourth position. Having started sixth, David had a really good start, considering he was actually third in the early exchanges on that opening lap. Did get a good getaway, then it Skeets. Daly is looking the man most likely to make a move here, but every time he gets close enough to Huntley, Ben just seems to have enough to fend him off. Ben turning his way through Coppice Corner, looking for his fourth podium of the year, but he's had 1 second and 2 third place finishes. There is what's going on for Ray McDowell in the pit lane, though unfortunately his day not getting much better, it would seem. Down in towards the chicane they come, with Ian Jones still leading the way. Daly doing his best to find a way past Ben Huntley and go with him. But this race, I'm sure, far from over. There will be plenty more chopping and changing as we go through the remaining half of this final race of the season. Through Redgate Corner they're about to go. These cars do need to do an awful lot of braking in them because they're quite heavy, they don't have that much grip, so the bigger the braking zone is, the more scope there is for out-braking manoeuvres, and that's why we very often see those late lunges in towards Redgate Corner. Not the story for the leaders at the moment. They're all gathering themselves together again behind though, aren't they? Look, Matt Parks, Mark Skeets and Tom Griffiths. I think Parks has got past Mark Skeets since we last checked in with this trio, so he's into fifth and will set off after David May. Very wide over the curbs, not so wide as to get in trouble for exceeding the track limits. Keith Towers and David Sharp, you can see in the background. So Keith Towers, who was a part of this battle on the opening lap, has just started to slip back slightly. Of course, Mark Skeets, part of the Masters contingent as well, so too is Keith Towers. But David May is still looking good for the Masters class victory, and therefore would be the Masters champion at the end of the season. He doesn't have to even win the category in this race to be crowned the champion, just needs to try and finish the race. As long as he reaches the end, he should be okay. He should wrap up the Masters title. Back under braking though come the leading trio, and the gap between first and second just coming down slightly I think on this lap. Ben Huntley just reeling in Ian Jones. It's so hard though with the slipstream effect around here that the effect of the tow at Donington Park is really noticeable, and it's very difficult to escape a group of cars behind, or even a pair of cars behind, especially if those two cars are willing to work together, which at the moment it looks as if they're almost doing. Daly hasn't really been showing his nose to Ben Huntley, has he? I think he's been quite content to just follow the number 96 car so that they can inch their way back onto the tail of Ian Jones, which they have done. They've pretty much caught him again now. Of course, Huntley now starts to get the tow, therefore inches back away from Daly, but Stephen will have some confidence here that it's all going to start continuing back together again through the old hairpin. Very, very quick right-hander, which went in on a slightly tighter line there. That costs him a mile an hour or so on the exit, but won't lose him too much time to Jones. It may, though, allow Daly to attack. When does Stephen make his move? You have to imagine that he will make it at some point. But there you can see again, doesn't even think about the inside line of McLean's, and either he doesn't think that he's got anything for Huntley, or, I sense this is more likely, he's just biding his time, knowing that, especially in this circuit, things can change in a heartbeat, so he doesn't need to take any big risks just yet. Right-hander back along the exhibition straight. Daly just ducks his nose out of line just to get a reference for where everyone is around him. And then hits the brakes down into the chicane, closes in, rolls up onto the rear bumper of the second place car of Huntley. You see, almost got a bit too close there. Huntley gets the better exit. In fact, he gets the better exit of all three of them, I think, onto the straight. So Huntley may well be closer to Jones now than he's been for quite some time. Is this where he tries to make the move down towards Redgate Corner? They're about to hit the brakes. Is there a lunge to the inside? No, they stay single file. So still Jones leading the way. Behind them it's single file as well, but very, very close indeed. The number 11 car there is Alessandro Albano, and looking to the inside of him, just behind, that's one of the Dobles, isn't it? It's number 65, which is Mike Doble, father to Mikey Doble, who's also out there. And, you can see Alessandro Albano, who jets in, especially to race in this championship. We encourage him to keep doing that again next year, because it's always good to have a new name and a bit of international flavour on the grid. He's enjoying his time in the Compact Cup, and this is why, because even if you're not fighting for a race victory, you've got someone, probably several people in fact, to dice away with on the track. There is never a dull moment anywhere up and down the order. It's what makes it such a draw for the drivers, but also for the spectators trackside. And I do urge you to try and get yourself trackside for a BMW Compact Cup race meeting in 2019, because we simply can't cram all of the racing into TV highlights, because there's just so much going on. Come trackside and you get to witness every one of these battles, and as you can see, they're just as entertaining, be they for first or 21st place. These cars are fighting for positions somewhere towards the back end of the top 20. Indeed, side by side in the background, that's Mike Doble losing position there as they went through McLean's. So Doble drops down one position, and that was the 29 car, I think, wasn't it, that went through towards the right-hander at the top of the hill. Can't have been 29, I think it was 99, wasn't it? I think that was going through. Anyway, place lost for Mike Doble, nonetheless. And, he now will try to fight back if he can. On the brakes they go. No, I beg your pardon, that's actually 20, isn't it? I'll get it right in a moment. That's Rudy McMillan that just went through, and he looks to be pretty pacey here. He's closing in on Albano and the 57 car of Jonathan Atkinson, who are running side by side in front of him. Meanwhile, at the head of the field, Stephen Daly, Ben Huntley and Ian Jones are starting to get themselves ever closer together. I think they've realised time's running out here, and Ben Huntley maybe tried to make a move on Ian Jones, and that's backing him up into Stephen Daly. Huntley had a peek to the inside of McLean's there. It's one of those real pressure cooker races, this. They've been following each other around without actually trading positions half as much as they were in the previous race. But as we saw in the previous race, as soon as one move is made, it tends to sort of all explode around you, doesn't it? And these three are likely to then continue to trade places. Huntley with a tighter line out of Coppers. Can he carry the momentum up the inside of the chicane? Ian Jones is trying to crowd him down to the inside of the road and succeeds in doing so. So Jones hanging on, but the defensive line into the chicane is going to stack them all up again. In fact, he gets back over onto the racing line just before he hits the brakes. So clever driving there from Ian Jones. David May is still fourth from Matt Parks fifth and Tom Griffiths sixth. They've dropped Mark Skeets now somewhere as well. Skeets has dropped away from this group slightly. Towards Redgate they go, on board with Daly though. Backwards at a fairly empty track behind him. in front of him, though. It's anything but empty. He's got Ian Jones and Ben Huntley busy squabbling the race lead. Remember, Huntley still looking for that first ever win in the championship. Ian looking for his third of the year. Multiple winner in the past, though, is Ian, one of the more experienced drivers these days in the BMW Compact Cup. He's been at this for several years now, before even Stephen Daly, in fact, arrived on the scene. Stephen in his third season. It's amazing to remember how much Stephen has achieved in 3 seasons. Runner-up 1 year and champion the other 2. Oh, that was a bit of a mistake there for David May. Look, at Matt Parks gets himself alongside up towards McLean. He's on the outside of Starkeys and Schwantz, and I think he's going to go through. Oh, there's a back marker in there as well, and the back marker that Matt Parks uses as a pick there, really, to steal a NASCAR term. Oh, and David May, I think he was a bit frustrated at that, tried to carry some speed around the outside. It's the dirty side of the road anyway, though. The grip was never likely to be there. Runs through the gravel in the 118 rescue liveried machine. Unfortunately, very nearly needed rescuing from the gravel. Thankfully, he kept his right foot down and was able to dig his way out. Change of race lead, though. Look at that. Ben Huntley's gone through, so Ben Huntley leads the race now, and we're into the final throes of this final race of the season. And Ben Huntley could be on the verge now of his first ever win in the championship. Ian Jones has held on to second, despite Stephen Daly trying to follow Huntley through. But Ben Huntley has got the race lead. Can he keep it? Well, Stephen Daly's going to start applying the pressure to Ian Jones now. He'll want to go with Huntley here. Down into Redgate Corner. Does anyone make the move? Jones thinks about it. He does more than think about it. He goes for it, and he's going to go straight back through if he can. They run wheel to wheel through the corner. Keep an eye on Daly, though. Daly gets the better exit of all of them, but there's nowhere to go. Look at that. Jones holds the inside line. Huntley on the outside there. Inches apart. Oh, contact! Contact is made. Through goes Daly, and the door opened absolutely perfectly in front of him there, and Stephen Daly sides his way through. Jones back on the inside, though. Fantastic stuff, and Ian Jones is back through. Remarkable racing. Well, I said they wanted to send off the season in style. They are absolutely doing so. It's been a relatively calm race until this point, but as I suggested, as soon as one move was made, all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. Brilliant driving there, though, from Jones, and great presence of mind to just snap straight back. As soon as he lost the lead, he was straight back up the inside of Huntley at Redgate, and then when it all went wrong through Hollywood, he was back up the inside of Daly at the Old Hairpin as well. Phenomenal racing, though, and Ian Jones is determined, I would say, to get this third win of the season. He leads them out of Coppice. The 2 behind, Matt Parks and Tom Griffiths, are loving seeing this because they're starting to close back in again now, although whether they've got time to get there awaits to be seen because time is running out. This may even be the final lap of the race. Through the chicane they go. Ian Jones in the lead, Stephen Daly second, Ben Huntley in third, and gets a good exit from the chicane, drags himself alongside Daly down towards Redgate Corner. We're going to get at least one more lap out of this one. This, though, I think will be the final lap of the race, and Ian Jones could start to escape now if these two start fighting for second. On the brakes through Redgate Corner, Huntley to the outside. Daly should leave him room, and I think Ben Huntley knows that because Daly can't afford any contact here, so Ben goes right around the outside, but Daly knows that he's got the inside line for this long right-hander at Hollywood. Wheel to wheel through the crane of curves. This is music to Ian Jones's ears because he's scarpering off at the road now. Through the Old Hairpin, Huntley slides out wide, and Daly had to back out of it, otherwise there was going to be contact, and Huntley goes back through. Daly gets the better line through the Old Hairpin, though, closes back in on Huntley. This fight for second is going to run right down to the flag, but Ian Jones, I think, has done enough. It was a decisive move that he made up the inside at the Old Hairpin a lap ago. How he did it, I may never know. I honestly didn't think he'd get that car stopped, but he did, and he went into the lead of the race, and it looks as though Ian Jones, despite the fact that his championship sort of unravelled a bit in the middle portion of the year, he is going to come home, it would seem, a victor in the final race of the season. Daly is still determined to get second place back from Ben Huntley, though, and again, this is testament to the fighting spirit that Stephen Daly has shown all year long. He could quite happily settle for third, knowing that the championship was won long before we got here to Donington Park, but second place is better than third, and he wants to finish as high up the order as he can. As it happens, I think this is how it's going to finish, because they come through the chicane for the final time, and Ian Jones is going to see the checkered flag and win for the third time in 2018, and what a way to do it. Ben Huntley comes home in second, Stephen Daly is third with Matt Parks fourth, Tom Griffiths fifth, and Mark Skeets in sixth. Then it was David May, Keith Towers, David Sharp and Alan Caulfield to round out the top 10. Oliver Fowler gets a pair of 11th place finishes from the weekend ahead of Matt Flowers and Tim Scott-Andrews, then Simon Welch and Jonathan Atkinson to round out the top 15. We had a couple of non-finishers, a couple of non-starters as well. Aaron Morgan retired, whilst Ray McDowell and Jason Bagley unfortunately excluded from the last race of the year. But what a race it was. Ian Jones, the winner of the final race of the season, and arguably one of the best races of the season, but there have been quite a few candidates for that prize this year. What a year it's been for the Nankang Tyres BMW Compact Cup.
So that race was a bit interesting for you, obviously third, but championship of the 2018.
Yeah, it's fantastic. A massive credit to the Casey Motorsport team all year. They've just put a car there. It's been on top form all year, to be honest. So credit to the team. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, it's just the way it is.
I mean, we've missed the celebrations, but you're absolutely covered head to toe in champagne. I'm guessing it's a lot of pressure off now.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure off, but I mean, you've got to look at the next year as well, and these guys are just serious. I mean, you're not going to beat them without a fight, and this is just the way of it, you know. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to what comes next year. I might go on to something different, but equally I might stay in this. So it'd be handy if Ian Jones and Ben Huntley and all the top guys would stay in, so we could have a fantastic year next year, because they really have pushed me right to the line.
You've won the Masters!
Yeah, I have, over the moon. It's been a hard year. We put so much work into these cars and the driving, and it's come together. I'm over the moon. I came off, nearly had a spin. I was thinking, just keep it on the track, and I've done it. And yeah, over the moon. I'm actually going to have a drink tonight for the first time in years.